Hey guys, so today I thought I would just kind of sit down with you here and I wanted to talk about a question that I got the other day, well, not the other day, that I got today actually on my Instagram, and about what is a learning strategist, or like specifically, what is a language learning strategist? Because if you Google it, or like even if you look it up on Instagram or wherever, you find like some things do come up, but none of those things that come up are really what I do here. And I'm gonna share with you guys like how I came up with this title for myself and what it is that I do, and that I do, here within like what I share on my videos and what I share on my website and all of that, and as well as, what I do when I work with people one-on-one. And I'm not really going to get too much into that because it's a little bit more involved, but I just want you guys to know, because I know it's a little different. And so basically I came up with the title learning strategist because I was originally language coach. I was teacher, and I was tutor, and I was all of these different titles. And I just was thinking, I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm a teacher. I do teach, like that is, that is what I do. I'm an educator, but that title didn't really work for me. And then coach, I do coaching, but that title, it's like, it's good, but I want something more specific to what I do. So I thought about, like, what do I do? And what it comes down to is that I teach these strategies, right? Reading, writing, speaking, listening. If you've been with me for a little while, you know that, like, my approach, my philosophy is an integrated and applied approach to these core strategies. And so that's where the strategist part comes in, is that yes, like I do sometimes teach a little bit of like some of the skills, but not really some of the skills, yes, but not like what you would expect traditionally from a teacher, which probably would be something like, someone standing straight now here, okay, like someone standing in front of a classroom and teaching and all of that, like explaining content. I don't do that. I did do that a little bit, and even here on my channel, and that is Snoopy. He is digging at the chair. I need to move him. He's over here. You see him? He is being a pest. So let me, let's reposition here. There we go. Snoop. All right, little Snoop is over here. He needs some attention. So basically, like, what was I saying? So basically, a learning strategist, what I do is, rather than teaching Spanish like I was doing, or teaching English, or any of those like subjects, instead of that, what I do is that I teach the actual skills. So I teach those skills as reading, writing, speaking, listening, and I mentioned those again because those are really what I teach. But it's more than just those. Like, it's more than just those literacy skills and like those speaking skills and all of that, because it's also the organization and the planning aspect of it, and just like, everything that goes into learning, but like everything that goes into just life, like living. So it is some of those life skills too. And it's really about like what I do when I work with people. What I do is I sit down with them and we discuss like, okay, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? What are you currently doing? And I look at their whole profile, essentially, like their life and their education profile and their background and all of that. And then what I do is basically like through, a series of meetings and questions and guiding, I figure out what are the most effective ways for them to learn what they need to learn. And more than I figure out, like I teach them how to figure it out so that like by the time people are finished working with me, they don't need me anymore. So that's why my program's not like a tutoring program, because I have worked as a tutor and as like a teacher before. And when you're teaching content like that, then it's like a subject matter, then mine is kind of a subject matter, but it's more strategy, right? That's why strategist. And so when you're doing that instead, then you don't need to work with someone as long because you learn the strategies. Basically, you learn how to learn, right? You learn how to learn, and you learn how to organize your schedule. You learn how to take good notes. You learn how to use your writing and listening and speaking and all of those skills in your language. So let's say that your language is English. Like, the most common, I think, for me to work with is people who are learning, who speak English well, but maybe it's not their first language. They've learned English as another language and they're learning many other languages. Then I will work with that person to improve those skills, right? Those 4 core skills, the reading, writing, four core skills, the reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And simply that is enough chomping. And then, right, work on those skills, but then you also improve the language itself. Right, so even though I'm not an English teacher, I am a credentialed English teacher, but even though I'm not currently an English teacher, and when I do also help with those skills because there's just no way that your English wouldn't improve, whether you're an English learner or a native speaker or any case. It's just not possible for your English not to improve when you are practicing those reading, writing, speaking, listening skills, and then also just doing everything in English. So you learn the skills, which is what I teach, and then basically just have the bonus of that language, if that makes sense. So I'm a learning strategist because I teach strategies, right? So I teach people how to learn. I teach them those 4 core skills, and I teach them how to understand themselves, like how to understand. So it's a little bit of metacognition as well, like how to really understand how your brain works and how you think about learning and what you need so that you can guide your own learning. So the process is really deep, and it's a lot of reflection, and it's a lot of just practicing those skills because we learn through application. So it's a lot of work on the student's part. So that's why, like, here on YouTube, I share with you guys my process a little bit, like some of my vlog style videos where you get to see what I'm doing and with my business and with my coaching and with my teaching. And sometimes I share some of these skills, but the only way that you can actually hone these skills, that you can really, really learn them, is to practice them. And then really you need some kind of feedback, or at least, be able to assess yourself, or you need something so that you can improve past that. But it really comes down to that practice. And yeah, so that's what I do. And that's what I'm all about, is all of the strategies for learning. And even though it's language, and I've mentioned this quite a few times before, but I also used to work as a math teacher, so I can say with absolute confidence that these skills work for any subject, not just language. I specialize in language learning and in linguistics and in all of that because it's reading, writing, speaking, listening. Like, it is all about language, but the skills that I teach, like, when you learn them, you really learn how to learn anything, and it's not just language, but especially language, because that's what we're using constantly. But when you learn how to, write an essay, write a research paper, you do that in other subjects as well. When you learn how to take detailed notes so that you can study from them and you can learn and, retain all your information, like that applies to any subject out there. So my approach is a little different than anything out there, and I can't really say like, oh, it's like this or it's like that. It's like whatever it is, because it's just my method. It's just what I do, and it's what makes sense to me. It's how my brain works. So yeah, that's what I consider to be a learning strategist, specifically for languages. So yeah, if you guys want to know anything else about what I do or what a learning strategist does, or just if there's anything else you want to know, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and remember that I will be back here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 o'clock And that is Pacific time over here in California, and I'm here responding to you guys' comments as soon as my videos come out for the first half hour and sometimes a little bit longer. So if you're watching this now, go ahead and leave a comment and I will be responding to you guys. Let me know anything you want to know about language learning, about life, about education, about just anything you guys want to know. Let me know down below.